Hey, do you know who Copernicus is? I am studying for a test tomorrow and I have no idea who this guy is or what he did.
Of course I do.
Could you tell me about him?
Sure. Copernicus was born on February 19, 1473. He was the first to theorize the concept of a heliocentric solar system, in which the Sun, rather than the Earth, is the center of the solar system. Copernicus read several books on the subject of astronomy. Among the sources that Copernicus consulted was Regiomontanus's Epitome of the Almagest, which presented an alternative to astrologist Claudius Ptolemy's model of the universe, and significantly influenced his research. By 1508, Copernicus had begun developing his own celestial model, a heliocentric planetary system. He created controversy in European scientific and religious circles by challenging many beliefs that had become religious truths since the end of the classical era 1,000 years before. Copernicus was the first to combine physics, astronomy, and mathematics into a fact-based model of the universe. Ironically, Copernicus, a devout Catholic, believed his theory did not actually contradict what the Bible said about the structure of the universe. After years of observation and calculations, he published his masterpiece, On the Revolutions, just before his death in 1543. It contained the mathematical and astronomical data that formed the basis of the Copernican model. Central to his model is his proposal that the Earth has three distinct motions: a daily axial rotation, an annual rotation about the Sun, and a third motion related to precession, the 25,800-year-long cycle reflecting the change in position of the Earth in space. In the book's introduction, Copernicus credits his heliocentric hypothesis to the ideas of ancient Greek writers.
Wow. That is quite interesting. Do tell me more.
Sure. While Copernicus was just finding this out, the Pope became angry at him for speaking out against him.
Why would the Pope be so mad about something so simple?
Well, back in the time where he was living, that is, the Renaissance, the Church had vast amounts of power. And because of this, the Church began to become corrupt.
So how does this relate to Copernicus?
Because Copernicus was, quote, challenging the Church, unquote, the Pope had him stand trial for these beliefs. Back in those days, everyone had believed he was crazy because the only idea was the Earth was the center of the universe. This is because the people back in that time only tried to explain what they saw with their eyes, and not with reason. Not only that, but the Pope was angry because Copernicus was able to prove him wrong.
Are you serious? What evidence did he have?
Shut up and I'll tell you.
Sorry.
Anyway, Copernicus was able to prove himself with a few evidences.
And those are?
Well, first, he said the rotation of the Earth accounts for the apparent daily rotation of the stars, which explains the Earth going around the Sun and blocking out different constellations in different seasons. Second, he said that when a ship is floating calmly along, the sailors see its motion mirrored in everything outside, while on the other hand they suppose that they are stationary, together with everything on board. In the same way, the motion of the Earth can unquestionably produce the impression that the entire universe is rotating. What he means by this is while on a boat in the ocean, you cannot tell you are moving. Just as the people on the Earth cannot tell they are moving, but they actually are.
That sounds pretty convincing.
The Pope thought so too. And if people began to believe Copernicus, they would lose power and people would begin to go against the Church. In order to prevent this from happening, the Pope ordered him to court and demanded he stand trial for his crimes. Well, Copernicus was found guilty and then jailed.
That can't be good.
Well, it wasn't. Obviously.
So, what you are saying is Copernicus was jailed for being wrong because he was right?
More or less. Yes.
My brain hurts.
Anyway, Copernicus has written a few books on these theories and why they are the correct theories.
What were they called and what did they say?
Gee. I feel like I'm being interrogated here.
Sorry. Ha ha ha.
Well, first Copernicus wrote a book called his Little Commentary. It was a 40-page manuscript describing his ideas about the heliocentric hypothesis. Another he wrote was called On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres. Despite urging by his closest friends, He resisted openly publishing his views, not wishing, as he confessed, to risk the scorn to which he would expose himself on account of the novelty and incomprehensibility of his theses.
If I were him, I would have published it as soon as I could.
You have to remember, if you had done that, your book would be banned and you would most likely be jailed. Or worse, killed.
Never mind then. Are there any more facts about him?
There sure are. Did you know the chemical element Copernicum is named after Copernicus? It has the symbol Cn and atomic number 112.
No way. He has an element named after him?
He sure does. Did you know many believe that the theory and ideas put forward by Copernicus started modern astronomy and were the beginning of a scientific revolution?
Gee Williker. I had no idea. Thanks for your help. I would fail without you.
No problemo.